My name is Sabelo Mkhabela. I'm from OK Africa. Nasty, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Those are really dope.
Thank you.
So the album has been out for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the response?
Very good, man. Very good. Satisfied. Moving on to the next project now. Yeah.
And you just put out like a really dope video with Ari.
All right. Yeah.
How was the experience of shooting that, especially being in two different countries?
Oh, it was dope, man.
Mm.
It was dope. Besides the fact that we couldn't shoot it in one location, in the same
Yeah.
location, it was dope, man. It was really dope. It was good to be out the house and back to working. Back to being outside and shooting and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. We made it work. Made it very relatable, very current. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this podcast series that you're starting?
Yeah. So the podcast is really just like it's an inside scoop, for people to see what it's like to be an artist in these times, in this day and age, what it takes, the stuff you go through, the lessons, the curveballs, how to manage certain situations, the best knowledge to have coming in, you know what I mean? That type of stuff.
And I think it comes at a very interesting time where you guys have to come up with like new models.
Yeah.
And how has putting out an album in the middle of the pandemic worked out for you? I mean, you're not
It's
performing
different.
much. Yeah.
It's definitely different. It looks like it should be easy, but it actually isn't. Like it requires a lot more of your focus, your time, your dedication to like the online space and really like staying present, you know. But it's manageable. Yeah.
Um, I don't know if artists ever look at music the way us fans do, but like you have three albums out.
Do I?
Yeah.
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 Do you ever like rank your albums from like favorite to least favorite, if you have a least favorite anyway?
No. No. The thing is, albums like I don't know if every single artist looks at it like this, but this is how like I look at it. It's like a timestamp, of what you were going through at that time,
Yeah.
what type of person you are, what type of artist you are, where you were with your creativity, how wild you were willing to go and stuff like that. So whenever you go back to like an old album and you listen to it, it just reminds you of that time. And it just depends if that was your favorite time of your come up, favorite time of when you were a superstar or whatever. It just really just depends on that. Yeah. Yeah.
And you were like you were in high spirits on the latest project. You sounded. I mean, what's the opening line is like, "This is how it feels to be on top of the world."
Yeah.
Is that how you feel right now?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda. I did when I was in that space when I was making it. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you maybe take me to that moment? Why were you feeling that way when you're making that album?
It's when you feel like you're celebrated because of how great you are at what you do, and not how current you are or how catchy you are or how in tune you are with like trends and stuff like that. When you're able to just really go crazy and run wild, and people still appreciate what you do and look at it for what it really is. That's what I meant. Yeah.
And you have that song. It's Ababulali.
Yeah.
And it's that song which you took very long to actually give people that Zulu verse. Album's been out for a couple of months now. You've been writing more Zulu verses.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I haven't.
So it's just a moment in time.
Yeah, that was just a moment.
Yeah.
Just a moment. Yeah.
Okay. And then going into 2021, we're like 2 months into it now. What's Nasty going to be up to this year?
Just dropping a lot of music, man. I want to drop multiple projects, a lot more features on my end and also on other artists' end. Dropping more content, like this, like the podcast and stuff, you know, just finding more ways to stay in touch with my fans, even like through times like this where they won't see me for like a couple months or whatever.
And you're very big on storytelling, you know, just in the music itself, but you also have, I mean, now you're starting this podcast. You used to have like a video series, was it My Journey?
Yeah.
Yeah, and and you put out that as a documentary you put out before the album dropped. Why is it so important for you for people to know your backstory and just to know where you are, like?
I think it's always good to document something if it takes a lot to do it, or if it'll make a difference in someone else's life who might be taking that same path eventually. You know, it's always good to keep stuff like this out in the open so people can look at it and learn from it and kind of figure out how they want to do it and stuff like that. Like our greatest and our legends, our favorite GOATs have always been doing it, and it helped us a bunch. You know, so it's only right. Like I do the same thing, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. Yeah.
And how important is it for you to be in control of the narrative? You know, I think there's like, I guess it came with social media, this whole broadcast yourself thing, but we've been seeing like a lot of artists who are like really venturing into media. You know, Slicker and Ausdoggy, and I guess in a sense you with the podcast series, it's still a media product. Why do you think there's this boom for artists to actually get behind media?
I think it gives them a better chance at telling the story in their own words. You know, you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. You're hearing the truth as it is. It also just gives them that, like you said, like a sense of being in control of their art. You know, and who doesn't want that?
And do you maybe think the pandemic is also like contributing to? Is it I would rather say, is it putting you under pressure to put out more content because you can't be out there?
Yeah, it is. So it was like a nice wake up call.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice. Everyone needed this slap in the face.
Yeah.
Everyone was getting too comfortable. Social media was doing like most of the work like on its own. But now it's like you have to really think about what you put out there and be consistent and all that type of stuff. It's like a blessing in disguise, man, for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's all from me.
Thank you, bro.
Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming.